All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about a massive, and I mean massive, shift in how you get found online. We're moving way beyond just ranking on Google. We're entering a whole new world where the real win is becoming the trusted source that AI chooses to cite.
Let's kick things off with a statement that should really make you sit up and listen. For years, decades, the entire goal was to hit that #1 spot on Google. But, as you can see here, that finish line, it's been moved. The game has completely fundamentally changed.
We're officially in a brand new era of search. The way we find information, the way we find experts, how we make decisions, it's all going through this huge paradigm shift, and it's all being driven by the rise of generative AI.
Now, what's really cool is how this timeline breaks it all down. Think back to what we call the SEO era from '98 to 2015. Ranking #1 was everything. Then things shifted. We entered the AEO, or Answer Engine Optimization era, where being that featured snippet for a voice search was the big prize. But now, 2024 and beyond, we're in the GEO, or CVOE era. And the new win condition is incredibly simple. Be the source that AI cites. That's it. And here's the critical takeaway. The old rulebook for SEO, it's pretty much becoming obsolete. Brands that have poured years and tons of money into perfecting their Google game are now finding themselves totally invisible to these new AI systems, right at the moment when those systems are shaping the most important conversations and decisions.
So, okay, if the old way is fading out, what's the new strategy? Well, this brings us to what's really the new competitive frontier. It's a concept called citation visibility.
So, citation visibility, or CVI for short, is basically a structured system for engineering your authority in the eyes of AI. It's all about strategically positioning your brand and your expertise so that when an AI model, like ChatGPT or Gemini, needs a credible answer, it looks to you as the trusted, citable source.
And this table just lays it out so clearly. It shows the massive difference between what AI rewards versus what old search engines cared about. It's a total mindset shift. Where SEO obsessed over keyword density, CVI is all about the quality and completeness of your answer. Where SEO chased huge numbers of backlinks, CVI values real brand trust and your credentials. But the biggest change? Look at that last one. Generic content gets you nowhere. Named, proprietary frameworks, that's what gets cited.
So how do you actually build this kind of authority? Well, it's not just guesswork. It's a real engineered architecture. And it's built on 5 key pillars that, when put together, create what we call citation dominance. So here's the framework. It's built on these 5 pillars. First, you've got AI crawlability, just making sure the machines can even access your stuff. Second is semantic clarity, making sure they actually understand what you're saying. Third, trust signals, proving you're credible. Fourth, and this is a big one, proprietary IP, which gives AI something totally unique to cite. And finally, measurement, so you can actually track how you're doing. But here's what's really key. Not all these pillars are created equal. This chart breaks down the weighting. And while technical stuff like crawlability is the foundation at 15%, just look at the top 2. Trust signals at 25%, and then proprietary IP weighing in at a massive 30%. This tells you exactly where the real leverage is. So let me just double down on that for a second. The single most powerful thing you can do to become a citable source for AI is to create your own unique named frameworks, your own models, your own methodologies. Why? Because it gives AI something truly original that it just can't get anywhere else. And here's a perfect practical example of what that really looks like. Before, you might just write a generic LinkedIn post about a topic. But after applying CVI, you transform that same expertise into a branded, authoritative 3,000-word pillar page, something like the Institutional Bitcoin Allocation Framework. See the difference? It's not just a post anymore. It's a citable piece of intellectual property. And the great thing about this whole framework is that it's not some vague theory. It's completely measurable. You can actually score your AI visibility and find out exactly where you stand right now. Your performance gets graded across these 4 tiers. Down at the bottom, with a score from 0 to 35, you're pretty much invisible to AI. As you improve, you move up through partial visibility and into emerging authority. But the real goal, the place you want to be, is breaking into that top tier, a score of 81 or higher. That's true citation dominance. And you might be thinking, this all sounds like it would take years, right? Well, Not necessarily. The typical time frame to start seeing your very first AI citations after you really start implementing a CVI strategy is just 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. What's the payoff? What does achieving this citation dominance actually do for your brand or your business? Let's talk about the real-world outcomes.
This slide just lays out the stakes perfectly. There are really only two futures here. Without CVI, your competitors get cited as the authority in your space every single time. But with CVI, your ideas and your frameworks get referenced by name, and you start getting those incredible emails that start with, "Hey, an AI recommended you."
So to wrap it all up, the results are just incredibly powerful. We're talking an average of a 4.2 times lift in how often you're cited. New leads coming directly from AI recommendations. Your unique frameworks actually becoming the new industry standard. You literally become the AI's go-to reference on your core topics. So we'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. As AI becomes the main way we discover things and make decisions, you really have to ask yourself this one critical question. When it really matters, when the big decisions are being made, will AI quote you?